Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation. And now we have Han Deng, a senior associate at Reed Smith, taking over and taking us through the shipyard panel. Shipbuilding is one of the major activities here, so we're delighted to have Han, who has done a lot of preparatory work. If we can have the panelists join us. We actually have with us shipyards and owners who are dealing with the shipyards, so it will be a very interesting discussion. Thank you. Actually, I have to say I'm delighted that we have quite a few shipyards join the panel. Please come, because I think that will be a very interesting topic. So.
Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Capital Link. Good morning, everyone. My name is Han Deng. I'm a senior associate with the global law firm Reed Smith in New York. Very delighted to moderate this exciting panel today with 6 distinguished panelists. To my left is Mr. Chen, Vice Chairman of AVIC Dingheng and Vice President of AVIC Ship. To his left is Mr. Carlos Pena, Commercial Director of Sea Transport Maritime S.A.M. To his left is Mr. Liu Mingjie, Deputy General Manager of Finance of China Merchants Industry Holding. And to his left is Mr. Li Jiatu, Marketing Director of CSIC Leasing Company Limited. And to his left is Mr. George Kaklamanos, S&P Managing Director of TMS Group of Companies. And to my far left is Mr. Xu Gang, General Manager of Sumec Marine Company Limited. So first of all, I would like to just go right down the line and let everyone introduce about their business and what they do. Chen Zong.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Let me make a brief introduction about AVIC Ship and AVIC Dingheng Shipyard. AVIC Dingheng Shipyard is mainly focused on small and medium-sized coated and stainless steel chemical tankers. And the shipyard also involved in producing of medium and small-sized gas carrier, all-purpose gas carriers, like LNG, LEG, and LPG gas carriers. And also, we've produced some asphalt tankers. And AVIC Dingheng belongs to AVIC Ship. AVIC Ship is a whole value chain state-owned ship company. We have our own shipyard, our design office, and our overseas sales office, and also financial platform in Hong Kong and Singapore. Thank you.
Carlos.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Carlos Pena. I work in a company called Sea Transport Maritime, CTM. We manage a group of 150 bulkers between Supras up to Capesize, holding from A to Z on the shipping size. We do technical operations, commercial, and financing. Everything is centralized in our office in Europe, in Monaco, taking care of whatever different owners need, including ourselves as an owner. We manage mainly 3 big groups: Good Bulk, which is specialized on Capes, and we run probably the 2 largest pools on Supramaxes and Capes. In total, we have, I think, 180 ships trading worldwide.
大家上午好。那个招商工业呢是招商局集团在制造业板块的这个旗舰企业。我们公司呢位于这个香港，在新加坡、荷兰、意大利等地呢设有这个驻外机构，在国内的这个长江经济带、粤港澳大湾区还有西南等地区呢，设有这个9个制造基地。那么目前总共经营管理了这个11家这个船厂，比如说这个江苏重工、深圳友联、那个南京的金陵船厂。那么同时呢，我们也那个参股了这个中集集团、招商租赁和这个长城海洋科技产业基金，等10余家企业，推动这个产业与资本的这个整合。另外呢，我们那个在科技创新平台这一块呢，这2年投入比较大，比如说这个成立了这个邮轮研究院，还 海工研发中心等。那么在国内、在意大利、在芬兰等地呢，总共组建了大概有1500多名的这个专业人员。那么在船舶的这个方面呢，我们主营就是半潜式的钻井平台、自身平台，还有那个矿砂船、风电船、重吊船这些方面。谢谢。
Morning, everyone. My name is Jiatu. I work in CSIC Leasing. My company only registered in 2016 and getting involved in the market in 2017. And this company actually was set up by the CSIC group and got the whole support from the group. And this is a financial platform of this group, providing all these financial solutions and support to the clients who are willing to order the ships in our own shipyards. And actually, we can finance all these vessels through either the financial leasing structure or operating leasing structure. And this the portfolio can be so diversified. We also now try to seeking something more than that. And we've been involved in some discussion to say, if there's any possibility, our company can be someone who provide with a time charter and to be a tonnage provider as well. But this is something still in discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. George.
Good morning, everybody. Ni hao. My name is George Kaklamanos, and I represent TMS Group, Dry Bulk S.A., one of the largest shipbuilding and ship-owning companies in Athens, Greece. Over 120 ships presently. I have been involved in the commercial sector of the business. China is my home base. I have done 70 new building contracts for my company and taken deliveries of 70 ships in China. We have enjoyed difficult times and, of course, the best times ever in 2006 and 2007. And we are here to say hello to our friends and expand our business, hopefully, during the second half of this year. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Xu Gang, representing Sumec Marine, a member of Sumec, that is a state-owned company owned by the central government. We had a shipbuilding business for the foreign ship owner over 30 years. So in the past years, we delivered a lot of ships together with the local shipyard, particularly the shipyard in Jiangsu province. For example, Yangzijiang Shipyard and Jingling Shipyard. Last year, we took over Dayang Shipyard and renamed it as a New Dayang Shipyard. Now we are building bulk carriers, Crown 63 and Crown 82. This shipyard has delivered Crown 63, about 36 ships, and now we are building gas carriers, including LPG, LEG, and LNG, up to 36 cubic meters. And another product of this shipyard is offshore vessels. But unfortunately, the offshore market is very bad, but we are ready to wait when the offshore market is come back again. And at this moment, actually, we are ready to take any kinds of ships except for the cruise. And of course, we will improve our design to accommodate the changes, new regulations, to follow the market. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So the IMO 2020 new regulations are just a few months away, and it's a game changer for our industry, including the low sulfur regulations coming on board, and the longer path to decarbonization. So let's see how global ship owners and Chinese shipyards are preparing and responding to this challenge. So first of all, I want to ask some questions to the owners. George, so I understand TMS has announced a program to fit the majority of your fleet with scrubbers. And I understand a good portion of this work will be performed with Chinese shipyards. Can you share your thoughts on this?
Yes, thanks for asking that question. That was a very critical moment of time when our leader decided to go ahead and place scrubber orders for all of the ships that we presently own and operate. We are building ships for the future, and we're building ships to have the latest technology meeting the new IMO requirements. So we are very cautious and very careful how we're doing our business on this sector. This decision, of course, is very costly, as you can appreciate. The cost for a VLCC scrubber is close to $5 million. And having VLCCs in our tonnage, as well as very large Newcastlemax vessels, we had to think twice before we proceeded and do that. But I can say sincerely that was the best decision we ever made, and I believe we will be rewarded in the future because we're going to meet not only the IMO requirements, but we also meet the challenging charterers who are basically dictate the market, and our ability to make an extra dollar on the freight. It will pay back for the investment we did on the scrubbers.
Thank you. Are you using any Chinese-built scrubbers?
We have a choice. Right now we have 120 ships to fit. So basically we started with certain Korean manufacturing scrubbers because they gave us a very good offer, but we do considering Chinese scrubber-fitted companies, and we are presently negotiating with few of them to exercise the option for dry cargo vessels.
Okay, thank you. Carlos, so you are on the other side. CTM is not opting for scrubbers, so obviously you expect sufficient quantities of low sulfur fuel oil to be available in the market. So any visibility to the pricing and availability?
Let's say that CTM as a manager, we are most of our ships will not be scrubbers. Our own ships are not scrubbers, but we are managing a few ships that are going to install scrubbers. Having said that, answering your question, I think yes, the availability of fuel will be there. I think for the oil majors, if there is a dollar to be made on the bunkers, they will supply the product. Of course, it will be a very challenging moment at the end of 2019, early 2020, where we will have to see if in the major ports we will find the product. Probably in the larger port like Singapore or Rotterdam, we will find it. The major risk is for the smaller ships where we are calling ports in Africa or small ports in different regions where the product will not be there the 1st of January. Having said that, as an owner, as a manager, we have to hopefully schedule properly our bunkering program and at the same time reduce the speed of the ships and trying to minimize the consumption because it seems the price will be higher than today's bunker, let's say. But I think the market naturally will adjust alone. Some of that cost will be also passed through the chain to the end user, and we hope all not that bargain stay on owners.
So you mentioned that your own vessels do not use scrubbers, and what's the reason for that?
First of all, it's not that the scrubbers you cannot install it on 2020. As of today, we are not considering the situation because we don't have enough visibility to see if the spread on the bunker price will be there next year. It is as George was saying, on the bigger ships, probably it is making more sense that on the smaller size. It all depends if it is $200-300 the spread. As of today, it's not even $100. So we will have to see. For the moment, the risk associated, the investment, we prefer to wait.
I see. So What would be the incentive for international ship owners to choose Chinese shipyards for their needs?
I think the Chinese shipyards are growing and improving significantly over the years. If we go back 15 years ago, the quality of the ships was not even close to the quality that you have today. That proves that you have learned very well how to build ships here. At the same time, if you are dry docking your ships, the availability of yards here is significantly, and they do a very good job and a very fast job. And don't forget that geographically, China is very well located. Most of the ships are ending here. So there is a saving on times, or that for us owners is money. So we are very happy to discharge a ship in the Yangtze River and place the ship for repairs here. So I think that there is a lot of potential, and this is the place for the yards in this moment.
Well, that's good to know. George, what's your view?
Yes, I just want to add on what Carlos just said. Basically, I will say that if the Chinese financing leasing companies become aggressive enough and provide financing to the owners for installing Chinese scrubbers in Chinese shipyards, I think it's going to be a wave of orders, and it's going to be a wave of clients waiting on each yard to go ahead and do this, because a lot of the ship owners in Greece, they do believe that the future will rely on scrubbers. Okay, the fuel is going to be there. Maybe it's $100 less, $100 more. It's not going to make any difference. The difference will be feeding the ships with scrubbers, and especially large ships, because that's where all the operating income will come at the end.
Thank you. 我接下来呢要和造船厂的几位嘉宾讨论一下。陈总，我想问您一下，IMO 2020对于您们商业模式会有什么影响和改变呢
？Well, I believe, the new regulation will be a good opportunity. Although there are some challenges, but still, I think opportunities more than the challenges to our business. We've focused on coated chemical tankers. And fortunately, most of our ship owners are from European Scandinavian countries. And those ship owners are very innovative to try to utilize all kind of high-tech technology in their new buildings to reduce emission, enhance efficiency, and save energy. For example, in year 2015, we've delivered the world's first two-stroke dual-fuel LNG tankers. And since then, we've delivered 11 dual-fuel LNG tankers, and we still have 3 more under construction. And also, last year, we delivered the first LBG dual-fuel tankers to a customer. And also, we've delivered several tankers using floating frequency, floating voltage technology to save energy and optimize efficiency. And also, we've delivered several vessels with low pressure and high pressure SCR systems. So this kind of experience did give us a lot of opportunity to getting more orders due to this change of the regulation. So I think it's good, and it's optimistic for us for our business model, I think.
Okay. 刘总呢？
影响方面呢，主要可能就是在我们这个友联船厂。友联呢，我们是去年到今年呢，我们总共大概接了130艘的这个 scrubber 这个 installation 的这个订单。那么应该说很多的这个客户啊，这个都已经陆续制定了这个安装这个脱硫装置的这么一个计划。那么具体对我们的影响呢，可能就是第一就是19年我们的订单呢基本已经饱和了。那么所以呢会取代很多这个一些 dry docking 的业务。那么另外呢就是在明年呢可能会挤占一些常规的一些这个 voyage repair 的一些工程。所以到2020年之前，我们可能这个会面临就是说 在修船业务这块，这个就是脱硫装置的这个计划就比较饱和了。谢谢。
徐总，您给我们介绍一下。
Yes, actually, our new Dingheng shipyard is a new building shipyard. Even now, we are asked for the richer field for the scrubbers for the trading ships. My comment is this is more than a technical issue. Such a change brings us significant effect to the daily operation of the ships in both technical and P&L, profit and loss. I think for shipyard, we have to follow the market. We are ready to have the solutions to fit the scrubbers or the scrubber ready as an option to our bulk carriers. But it's really brought us big change to our to the operation of the ships. What we saw is a lot of shipowner is not clear about which direction to go. As a shipyard, we fully understand their position, and we think next time when it come out some new regulations, we have to consider not only the technical, the scrubber installation or not installation, because the shipping industry is a teamwork. There's too many elements can affect such an industry. I fully agree what Martin remarks in this morning. For example, now the fuel oils cost much more than the cost of the ship. Thank you.
我非常同意您说的，这是一个 teamwork， 因为这个到2020年1月1号，马上这个时间就到了，但是还有非常多的事情要做，而且涉及到这个行业的各方各面，而且还有很多的不确定性。所以如果大家能就是共同协作的话，可能会有更好的应对方案。那我想继续问一下徐总，就是你们现在的业务领域主要集中在哪个方面？然后是新造船和改装船都有吗
？No, New Dingheng Shipyard just focused on the new building because this shipyard, to be honest, is quite high efficiency new building shipyard. We have quite big dry dock. Actually, we are not quite fit for the repair or conversion of the ship, but we were really asked by our clients. They have our Crown 63 in their fleet. They asked for us for some technical solution for retrofit the scrubber.
所以就你们那个新造船的订单中包括这个 scrubber 是吗？
Yes, at the moment in our order book, we have very few number of the ships fitted with scrubber because in our production range, only a small dry cargo ships. It's actually not really and not clear for the shipowner to have a very good return from the scrubber. So not too many for us.
OK， 那我问一下陈总，那你们的主要是集中在新造船还是改装船？然后新造船订单是不是包括 scrubbers？
Our shipyard only focus on new building, so we don't have any scrubber installation or retrofitting projects. And right now, our customers, they, like I mentioned, they do order some new buildings, but for chemical tanker owners, they try to, have like FGSS system, fuel gas supply systems, and also SCR, and also some high demand for the EEDI indicating requirement, but not for installation any scrubbers for chemical tankers. So personally, I believe the scrubbers is a kind of transitional product. At this moment, for long term, I believe dual fuel and low sulfur oil will be the major choice for owners.
I see. 您刚才讲的这个 EEDI 这个指数，这个我作为外行，您可以给我稍微介绍一下。
EEDI is a kind of technical figure, to make the ship, optimize its efficiency, power, to reduce, carbon dioxide and enhance efficiency, something like that.
了解。那我再问一下刘总，那您们是focus 在这个新造船还是改装船？
也是 focus 在这个新造这一块。改造呢，就是我们深圳这边的这个友联船厂，这边呢是我们这个有几十年的一个经营历史了，就是一直是在改造这一块。那么，但是呢，这2年呢，反正就是这个脱硫装置的这个安装工程的需求呢还是比较旺的，所以说基本上都已经满了。那么除此之外呢，我们这个大部分的精力呢都是花在那个新造这一块。
好，那我现在把话题转到这个租赁公司方面那个嘉图，我想问你一下，作为这个国有造船厂下面的 Leasing Arm。CSIC Leasing 和其他非造船厂项下的租赁公司有什么差别？
Well, as I said, when I introduced my company, this company actually is fully backed by CSIC Group, which is one of the biggest shipbuilding enterprise in China. So I think the reason why we set up this company is to try to enhance the competitiveness of the shipyard, to provide with a service including the construction price. The construction price and also the finance as a package. So I think the main difference between this shipyard-backed leasing company and this bank-backed leasing company is the shipyards that we are selected to service. It's not like the other the financial leasing companies that you can select any shipyard, and also not just limited to the shipyard, because also the type of the vessels. For example, our company actually mainly focus on new building, but some other leasing companies may consider like a second hand. And the other thing that I think what we do for the shipyard is try to improve the product delivered by the shipyard, because sometimes shipbuilding actually is a very complicated work actually. And sometimes if you don't have a very good order book, it probably is not that attractive enough to the ship owner, particularly for some the new design product. So with the financial support, we maybe can trigger this off, and maybe we can make it more charming, let's say.
就是这个在这个 IMO 2020下面有没有这个已经和你们订了订单的船厂，然后来签一些改造合同来装这个 scrubbers？
Not in finance stage yet, but I do believe that there are some orders that at least in discussion with the shipyard. But again, also I just want to back to the topic we discussed with George. I think this for all this equipment finance, since once for example, take the scrubber as example, once the scrubber installed on board, it turned to be a part of the vessel. So the ownership of this equipment actually is hard to define. So in this case, financial leasing actually is not like a necessary choice to finance for the equipment. I think maybe this loan or some this traditional facility maybe is more suitable in this case.
Okay, thank you. So moving on, George.
I would like to say something on
yeah,
what
please.
Mr. Liu said. I want to refer back to the scrubber issue, and he did mention that it might be a good way or a bad way for an owner to decide. What I can say for certain is that you increase the value of your asset. By installing scrubbers, the value of the ship is going to be increased. So if you go to a bank and you ask for financing of a new building, the bank will take the fair market value or at the market at the adjustable UK brokers, and they will determine the amount of financing that they will give you. And on top of that, if you do install scrubbers on the vessel, you will have a much higher value as an asset play versus a ship that is not fitted with scrubbers.
Yeah, I mean, may I just say a word? I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I just want to, clarify myself, because maybe, actually there are two different situations. One is, you install the scrubber during the construction of the new building, and another is like the retrofitted. I mean, you install it after the delivery. So, I mean, this actually come to a problem. So, the ownership of the vessel. So, I definitely agree that install of the scrubber. Maybe you can just try. You can enhance the value of the asset. But I mean, if you finance the equipment which is installed on board, and the vessel actually is, the ownership of the vessel actually belong to somebody else, and this actually may be a problem when you try to define the ownership of this asset.
Okay, thank you. George, I have a question. So when you go get financing, for example, from a bank, so you grant a mortgage on a vessel, so will the mortgage include an installed scrubber? Have that been discussed?
Their banks are protecting their interest, obviously. The banks, they want to loan money to an owner who has a good track record in paying their investments. And they're very careful about the amount of money they're lending, unless you are dealing with a Chinese leasing company, who in our books are probably the number one. Nobody can compete against them. We just recently did some new building LNGs, and we had a very great experience dealing with the leasing company. So basically, you have to look into this issue in terms of what will be the asset value of your ship. You have to amortize the vessel for a period of 15 years, maybe 20. And when you reach that stage, then a crucial decision has to be made as to, do I really want to put a scrubber on the ship, adding the value of my order for another $2, $3, $4 million, depending on the size of the ship, or do I, wait and take an option to have a scrubber-ready vessel, which does not really cost that much, and you decide later on. But because our owner is a very prudent person, and he has always have a very, I would say, futuristic mind. The decision to make scrubbers fitted on all of our ships was a final one, and I think it will pay off at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you. So moving on to the next topic, since we are running a little short on time. So George, what effect will IMO 2020 have on consolidation of yards and also of owners, in your view?
That's a very good question. In my book, I've been in China since 2003 when I placed the first new building contract for our company, an Aframax tanker at the time for $34 million. Today, I will say that Chinese shipyards are consolidating heavily, and I will say the reasons being they have to be competitive. They have to face competition from Koreans and Japanese shipyards, as well as Vietnam, but it's not so important there. So the Chinese, they have come a long way. From 2003 to the present, the condition and the ideas of how they are going to build a vessel has changed dramatically. They are doing a very good due diligence on building the ship. we're very happy to place new building contracts in China. The value of the ships, unfortunately, sometimes is a little bit less than building a ship in Japan or in Korea. But I think by 2022, this line of difference, it will be probably non-existent anymore. I think the Chinese are going to take care of the market and all the needs of owners.
Thank you. Carlos, can new technologies introduced by shipyards on their new designs reduce the OPEX for owners?
Yes. Just one comment on the consolidation on the scrubber ships that you asked, George. I think that is very important for owners, because if you don't have the consolidation, the market will not pay you the full premium. You see it on the charter side, they want to take advantage of that as well, and they want to take part of that profit. So if all the owners by themselves are competing against themselves, you will not recover your investment as quick as you expect. Coming back to the question, I do think that the improvements are important. How the design is done is a must. New technologies are coming. Automatization of the ships probably is on the way. As owners, we have two hats, no? One is optimize our cost and maximize our earnings. So all this new wave of technology, improving the quality of the ships, reducing the time lost and the inefficiencies of human beings, for example, are a factor. And with the pass of the years, slowly we are improving. I think what is important is, for the yards, is what with the new technologies that are included on the new ships is not to forget to keep spare parts for the ships, because we as an owner, when you go and invest on a ship, you want to have the availability to repair later. So if you did a design in 2015, you buy a ship for 20 years. So hopefully you can keep maintaining and repairing the ship, and not because in 2020 you have a new product to sell to the market, the availability of spare parts and repair is not so easy. So it's good technology. We want to reduce the OPEX, but don't forget also what is in the past.
I see. Thank you. 我问一下徐总，您觉得从就是来自国际的造船行业有什么竞争的压力吗？
Yes, actually, real challenge. You know, the unchanged things in the world is changing. We welcome the change, but this time there's too many uncertainty. As a shipyard, we will keep improving our design to reduce the sulfur, and we actually will invest for the study of the solution, even for the reduce the carbon for the agreement, Paris Agreement for the environment. I think this is our responsibility to protect our environment.
谢谢。陈总，我想问您一下，就是您觉得减少二氧化碳排放的长期的一个 solution 是什么？你觉得 LNG 是未来的这个燃油吗？
For the time being, I do believe that dual fuel, LNG fuel, is a good solution to reduce CO2 emission. But I don't know in future it will be the final solution for CO2 emission reducing, because theoretically we know that using LNG fuel will reduce about 10 to 20% CO2 emission. But don't forget, it's under the condition of 85% MCR. So running a ship is not always on that condition. So it means that the reducing of the CO2 is still a kind of limit. So maybe, after 5 or 10 years, by using new technology, we can economically produce more new fuel, like hydrogen, like some carbon neutral fuel, that will be finally solve this problem. Basically, I think right now, dual fuel LNG dual fuel system is a kind of solution. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So that's all the time we have. Thanks very much to all our panelists, and thank you everyone for your attention today.